There's a lot of tension in the room. Go on, Hannah. Scream at me like you just did.
Excuse me?
What, like my mother? Stop showing off in front of Al.
Hannah,
Hannah, do you know how upsetting it is? This wire is attached and your foot was clumping on it. I'm pulling my head down like this. Look. And I said, stop standing on the wire. And then you said to me, don't talk to me like that. How dare you? Don't look at me like that, Hannah.
Listen,
Hannah, please.
I'm not going to recreate your childhood history.
We have 2,000 viewers, Hannah. Oh, that is so cruel. I'm in the moment and you would bring back my childhood.
You could charge for this.
This is
if people could come in and join you at the table and watch this, it's kind of...
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah,
why is Al Porter here?
It's kind of theatery. Have you ever seen that woman that did the theatre piece where she just sat there and people came over to her, she couldn't say anything?
Oh yeah, Marina Abramovich. Incredible. Yeah, she's an amazing...
people could just come in and see you and Hannah argue.
Oh, very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
It would be therapeutic.
Hey, listen, what about... Bonnie Blue is almost like a art installation piece, Hannah. Bonnie Blue, the girl that had sex with like 1,100 guys, all these dudes queuing up the stairs in one night, and they have a chance to have penetrative sex with her for 2 minutes. And
it wasn't even 2 minutes. I think it was even shorter.
Okay, but there's something about her that is... There's a sort of emotional poker player deadness to her when she's so matter of fact about it. But what I'm saying is, you know, you can say what you want about it, but it is, you know, it's not illegal, and she did it, but nobody else has done it, probably for a reason, because it's quite a tough thing to do, I would imagine.
Or nobody has publicised.
Yeah, but to have, well, if you think like how much can the vagina take? Okay, Christ Almighty, I don't know.
I think it's quite incredible
that you can do like 1,000 guys. So how many strokes?
I don't know, but like it was like it was like 30 seconds per man, and there were men in clusters, like with 5 men coming into the room.
Oh yeah,
and they were, you know, they were supposed to be prepared before.
Erect.
Right.
You know, so they ready, steady, go. Because there has to be...
You'd be hopeless in that situation.
I would be struggling, yeah. It doesn't really...
Is his microphone okay, Daniel?
And then
Is his mic okay?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I know people freak out about it.
Was my mic off?
Oh, there now. Is it better now?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think this is just my voice.
Okay.
I turned the processing off.
Thank you, Daniel. That's my Daniel. Actually, maybe Daniel should... Sorry.
And then, what did I want to say? And then I remember there were guys who were queuing, and after the event, they expressed their huge disappointment. And some of the guys who were queuing, they just left because they found it so unsexy. And so they actually had to go off and look for men. They were actually asking men on the street, would you like to come and fuck Bonnie Blue?
Oh, sorry. The producers of the content had to find other... I thought the men who were disappointed had to go off and find other men.
There were some men who were queuing.
Yeah.
And they just were put off by whole situation because it was not romantic at all. It's just like a factory.
I mean, who thought it was going to be romantic?
No, but like, you know, like the guy, you know, before they go, they just have the imagination, you know, say, oh, I'm going to have sex with this girl, you know, she's so famous, you know, and she, you know, like an experience, you know, like probably you never know what it is like until you get there.
Well, it's like that old joke, I don't want to be a member of any club that would have me for a member.
It's like Groucho Marx.
It's probably if you are standing in the line and you see who's in front of you and you go, oh, Jesus. You mean, he's... Yeah. You know, this is not as exclusive as I thought.
But it's I guess, I'm just trying to think, would there have been any time in my life if I knew there was no repercussions and nobody knew me and I'd get, you know, nobody would find out.
Where you would let 1,000 men fuck you in the ass.
Would I be...
You wouldn't be able to shit
would I...
months, or you'd be shitting for months.
No, would I be in a queue? Would I queue up to... you... Yeah, be funny.
That reminds me of the Lily Savage
What about a gay guy? Like, would do that? Could he do that?
Well, Lily had a great joke. The great Paul O'Grady. He, you know, when she was Lily, somebody said to her, "How many men have you been with?" She said, "Well, if I got eyes in the back of my head."
Oh, right,
which
right.
is a good gag. But I mean, I've never been in that situation.
Well, how do you get that joke, Hannah?
Because you fuck from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
what do you mean?
He wouldn't see.
So what?
Because they have anal sex.
Yes.
So that he wouldn't see how many he had behind.
Right.
So he looks forward.
Oh,
Your dynamic is fascinating.
you're so righteous right now.
Have you seen that Netflix
David,
program?
I think Al's shot, he's a bit too on the side.
Is he?
Yeah.
Not the first time.
David, you have to really cope on and stop creating just something uncomfortable. I find it uncomfortable. If you want me to leave, I leave.
Why do you want to leave?
Because, you're starting, being really, unpleasant.
Is that good there, Dan? Check.
Is it kind of like a...
Yeah.
It's a tipping
My
point,
camera's
like...
not on.
What?
My camera's not on.
Jesus Christ, Daniel. Hannah, you lose the plot now.
I'm not losing the plot. You ask me how I understand, I did, and then you just...
Yeah, but I mean, so what if I'm making fun of the fact that
No.
I think you don't understand?
Listen, but you become really aggressive unnecessary.
Hannah, you...
Is this still recording?
I don't know.
It's kind of interesting because I do get the impression that you guys always resolve. If you have a conflict, you're good at resolving and
Yeah, but
staying friends. I do think that Dave creates almost like a creative conflict environment. You're happier on the battleground, isn't he?
Yeah, but
So
a lot
he-
of
so he
time it goes
constructs
over
it.
the board, when it becomes unpleasant. It's the same with the assault thing. It's a really fine line.
You mean the Greg Wallace stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With being aggressive towards me, and
I know what you mean.
Are you happy with that one, Daniel?
Yeah.
I don't mind a bit of conflict, but if it's not, if it doesn't come from a good place, it becomes
Hannah, you're in a bit of a
unbearable.
bloody mood, Hannah.
I'm not in a
You
mood.
are, because I can see it. No,
Oh, you can see it. You read me
Hannah,
you know everything.
okay, let me say,
I'm
you
telling
look
you,
amazing.
I
You came
can-
in, and we were all waiting here half an hour. I love you, first of all.
Well, you said 4:30.
Okay, so 4 o'clock. So you came in here.
So it's your fault,
Me and Daniel have been setting the whole place up. You come in like a queen, and
Yeah, I just been at work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just like
No,
you,
don't
just
be.
like, you're exposed to just say the petty talk, which
It's
is
kind of interesting. I mean,
it's kind of interesting.
no, but it is because the show is called,
And that's why we're not together.
and that's why we're not together. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
some of this is kind of the meat of the show, in a way.
yeah.
But
Okay.
I just
No,
think
I know.
that the
Okay,
title
Hannah.
stayed, but the content diverted in a different directions.
Although no, look. Stop making me look like a bastard.
You are one.
Yeah, but Hannah, will you just look at me nicely now?
I am.
Oh, thank you. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Do you want to introduce the show, Daniel?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Are you okay, Daniel? Are you upset? Do you feel safe?
I think so, yeah.
I don't feel safe.
I want custody of the children.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to And That's Why We're Not Together, starring David McSavage, Hannah Gnat, and special guest Al Porter.
Al Porter, erstwhile comedian, all-round funny guy, a great future in television and
Behind
film.
him.
Behind him. Okay, right. Thank you very much, Al Porter, and of course my young prince Daniel Andrews.
Hey,
And
thank you, Daniel.
someday I will hand over the reins of this kingdom to you, my prince. If you're a prince, that means I'm a king, Hannah.
And I'm a
if,
queen.
Well, no, we're divorced, so
Yeah, but I still,
no.
Still the
haven't
queen.
the title.
No, we've stripped you of the title.
Oh yeah, and maybe we've stripped you out of the title.
Fair enough.
You're fallen king.
I'm a fallen king. Thank you very much, Al. We did a gig recently. Where did we do a gig in Wicklow?
In Wicklow, in O'Shea's Corner.
Oh yeah. And
Do you remember?
And apparently there was some guy who was staying in a direct provision centre who had lost his mind and was running around the town completely naked, stark bollock naked.
Oh yeah, the night before.
Yeah, so that was the talk of the town.
Yeah.
It's a funny place, Wicklow, isn't it?
Well, I liked the video he did. And did you see?
Oh yeah, Wicklow.
Dave, we were just walking by the real estate agents, and Dave sees the prices of the houses, and he's going,
I think you
"Who
noticed.
The fuck
Yeah, you
would
noticed.
pay?"
Yeah.
I noticed. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just giving you credit. But you noticed the price of the houses. Who the fuck would live in Wicklow? But it is. Do you know Wicklow Town? I always thought Wicklow Town would. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever been there. It's an odd sort of place.
I liked the gig. I think that it wasn't your favourite gig. I like that pub atmosphere. I like that. Reminds me of the first gigs that I was doing where everybody's crammed in and they're swilling pints and they're there for a good time. And I think I romanticize it as if that's like the working men's clubs in the 70s or something. Or sometimes I prefer that to a black box theatre thing.
Okay, well, at least, but I'd even think the working men's clubs, they were sort of laid out better maybe, and they had better lighting and sound, or maybe they didn't. But anyway, the sound was a bit all over the place, or maybe it was okay. I think there was bad lighting, but basically the room was set up where we were facing this way, and the majority of the audience was that way, and that does me head in.
But were they
and then
talking,
the pay
or were
wasn't.
they listening?
We weren't paid correctly, I felt, and I tried to talk to the guy who's running the gig, and he was a typical collapsed bastard of a dude. God love him, Hi, can we, look at the amount of people here. Look at the amount we're getting paid. What? It's nothing to do. It is you. This is your thing. Anyway.
See, Dave was headlining. I wasn't. I was supporting Dave, so my pay was fine. My pay was sufficient.
God, how are you all so lovely now?
I'm just saying, my pay was okay. You should see some of the gigs I play. You can't have an ego anymore. I did the Puccine still. It's a restaurant.
But anyway,
I'll left wing of a carvery.
But people were eating while you were playing?
No, I was right beside the carvery, just the smell of gravy wafting in. It was like kind of talking after a communion.
See people who don't, like that's why we have people representing us, because it makes us look like assholes when you start trying to negotiate money. I mean, it was wrong at that point. When you're doing the gig, it should have been agreed beforehand. But anyway, Aidan, I'd said yes before I knew what it was. Anyway, but Al, of course, was brilliant. He was knocking it out of the park. I love watching Al.
Was he better act? So
yeah, Al was better.
So the warm up was better than the real act.
That's not true.
Yeah, he says he's support. He's trying to be all humble, but he knows how good he is. It's a little marketing technique. I'm just a piece of shit. Oh, look at me. Because he knows if he confidence, we don't like it. So he goes, I am just nothing.
Well, Irish people don't like confidence.
No, they don't.
They don't. Or my favourite line of yours, one of my favourite lines of yours is, the Irish people love you when you're dead.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't succeed.
Yeah, the Irish love the dead. Like right up until the point you're dead. He's a cunt, he's a cunt, he's a cunt. Dead. No, good man, Paddy. I loved him.
Yeah, you never see such big funeral as in Ireland. Like everybody always comes in. Somehow it's the thing people love doing in Ireland. Go to funerals.
Yeah.
They might not go to the wedding, but they would go to funerals.
Yeah, you kind of gain a bit of popularity over here for sticking around long enough to get past people hating you, and then people kind of go, fair play to them.
Well,
they start to. People hated Pat Kenny.
But the great philosopher John Cleary, John Cleary is fantastic. Everybody loves John Cleary, which annoys me. But anyway, he made it. There's some things you hear and you're ready to hear them, and the penny drops. And one of the things that John said, sometimes he comes up with, and I've said this before, haven't I, Daniel?
Yeah, a couple of times.
And you can say it could be like your motto.
But this is from John Cleary, and he said some people just don't like you.
Yeah.
So what? Let it go. It doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. Like you kind of get it. You get this idea that the importance of he doesn't like me. What fucking all day? Doesn't like you. But you know what I mean. There'll be loads of people that don't like you. Especially in this country.
Yeah.
Like you could have done the greatest thing in the world, or like Bob Geldof, fucking cunt or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, what could he saved millions of people from starving to death? Mm-hmm. Oh no, you conspiracy theorists.
No, he's
part of the lizard people.
Listen, no.
Okay, but what I'm just trying to say, there's nothing you can do. There'll always be people who don't like you, but if you don't even give it, if you just whatever, it's not. I don't like people. It's not a big deal. We can peacefully coexist with people who don't like us. Like there's loads of people on this road I can't stand. Go turn.
Jesus, I hope they don't watch.
I
No,
turn
they
right.
don't.
I turn right. You know, there's people in the shops down the road. You know, those kind
They
of
don't
post.
watch either.
You know, guys who wear dungarees and have a little ring in their nose, and they go to festivals and they do a little bit of ketamine, and they, and they sit around a fucking fire, and they speak Irish, and fuck off. I can't stand them.
Are they happy? Do you
Well
think?
done.
Are
What?
they happy? Do you think, or do you think that you're thinking they're happy, and you're going, how could you be fucking happy with your oat flat white and your bicycle and your dreadlocks when you're a white guy and your Gaza, Palestine?
White guys with dreadlocks are the worst, man. Well, occasionally you'll get a white guy with dreadlocks who's sound, but a lot of the times, spiritual people, they're presenting. It's too much, so they must be, what's the word?
A lack.
Yeah, they're compensating for a lack of a personality or
I think spiritual people are snobbish. They snob. I swear to God, I met a lot of them.
Yeah, go on.
And they feel superior.
Yes.
Because they're spiritual.
Yeah, and even
There's snobbery.
Well,
yes.
They look down at people who they say, oh, they don't work on themselves. How the fuck? You know how many years do they work on themselves and they never make any progress? I know people spiritual for like 20 years working on themselves in the same place.
Well, to agree with you for a second, I remember being away and I bumped into somebody, and he is a nice guy, and I bumped into him and his friends, and I said, oh, fancy seeing you, while we're in a different country. And he said, oh, well, we've just been in the forest doing ayahuasca, and I had this incredible experience where I left myself and all my earthly attachments and realized that we're all one. And then I went, oh, wow, amazing. And then there was a waiter going by and he said, waiter! Hello, this pint, and you're
yeah,
going,
yeah.
oh, fucking
Yeah,
hell.
yeah, yeah,
I see
yeah.
we are all one. But he didn't mean it, but I agree with I agree with you. That's such a fence sitter.
No, it's great. It's crazy, man. But Mrs. Hannah did ayahuasca many 35, 40
Yeah,
times.
I
No, but
didn't,
she's
you know,
I was
almost
wondering how you got married.
No. She's
Yeah, we
she's
all
almost no,
won.
but she's quite dismissive. I'm so impressed by that. It's like the guy next door is building an extension on his house, and he's got this skills. He's very good with his hands. I'm very impressed with that guy, right? Although his son. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I'm as impressed with him as I am with you. The fact that you have the bravery or courage or whatever it requires to go up to these forests and take that fucking ayahuasca and go inside your own head and meet yourself, and it tells you what a lovely
May I say something?
person you are. You know what I mean? Because you can. I don't want to meet myself. I would be deadly scared of doing that. She did it 30 times.
And
But I'm-
maybe I did too many times.
No, but
30
also
times is a lot.
Or maybe
I mean,
I opened the door, I can't close anymore.
by the 25th time, are you meeting yourself and they're going, Jesus, get a hobby. We've met.
Oh, that's so-
How many times we have
No, but that was done in the style of Jackie Mason. I did the ayahuasca so many times. I say, how many times do I have to meet myself? Myself is looking at me and going, "What? Don't you have a hobby?"
Oh,
How
well,
many
he had a
times?
great bit. That's why
Go on.
he had a great bit about finding yourself with a psychologist,
Go
and
on.
the psychologist says you need to find yourself. So, why have I got to find myself? What if I find myself and I don't like him? What if it's not the guy that I want to meet? And then he ends up
good.
going. He goes, you need to find the real you. But what if the real me isn't actually me? What if the real me? And the
on,
punchline
keep
is,
going with it,
What
keep
if
going with it.
what if the real me is actually you and you owe me $100?
Yeah, it's so good.
I decided we pay $50 each. It's only fair. I could be me. You could be me. We know who knows who I am.
Isn't it so good,
Very,
Hannah?
very
Really
funny.
good.
And in
just-
that accent as
But
well.
that's
But
the accent.
that rhythm, that cadence of that Jewish style, and it probably it's in the same way that our accent is informed by the fact that we used to speak Irish and we're speaking English as a second language. So, but that thing where he goes, two Gentiles and a tiger, and I did it, whatever he's talking about, seek freedom, Roy. I don't like it. It's so effective, especially punchy for comedy and the build up to it.
And we have it over here.
And those ones, sir. What does he look at the audience? And
Oh,
he
well,
says
if he
things?
tells a joke and then he's facing one side of the auditorium and then he goes, I'm talking to the wrong side, turn
Yeah,
over to the other, go,
yeah.
some of these are jokes.
Yeah.
This show is not for everybody. This man already knows.
Yeah,
all of this stuff. And then he has these great ones where he's going, the front row, it's all just men with hookers. And then he go, what does a hooker look like? Maybe this lady could stand up and tell us.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
go,
yeah.
No, sit down. I'm only kidding. Maybe this lady could really tell it.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah.
And it's really, really good. And then I love his bit where he says, you say to a Gentile, You know, you say to a Gentile, you look like a hooker. She says, me, oh my God, how could you say that to me? You say to a Jewish woman, you look like a hooker. She says, oh my God.
Yeah,
really?
right. But that you know, that skill that he has, you know, sometimes there's a natural ebb and flow in an audience, and it sort of dips slightly, and you know, then he'll say, some of these are jokes. Well, I can't remember the exact fucking line he says about that, but it's so good. I fucked it up. It doesn't matter. But,
No, but
his rhythm and cadence is so. It's like, you know, it's like listening to great music.
Yes.
And well, referring to that, to this article.
Oh, to your
well,
article.
Well, no, but I'm just saying that comedy. No, put it down. I was like, comedy definitely is an art form when you see it done like that. I mean, don't you think? Or you're reluctant to agree?
No, I do think comedy is an
Why
art
are you
form.
frowning like a bastard?
I'm thinking about it.
You're thinking.
About it. But I agree. I think good comedy is a lot of thought has gone into it, and then it's meant to be seamless. You're meant to not really be able to tell where. I mean, it depends on your style of comedy. Some people are such gag merchants that you know you're getting a gag.
Yeah.
But the work has gone into the other bits, the timing and the music and the rhythm of it, as you say.
But it's not regular, what we would understand as art.
No.
In the same way, you know, you know what I mean. But I mean, it's a form. It's an art form of art, isn't it? It's not like.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pissing in the wind because it doesn't. It's ephemeral.
What's pissing in the wind?
But as in the show only lasts a year or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's gone. So I guess it doesn't have that other quality that some artworks have, which is that they have posterity or they last or something. I suppose you could record it. You could watch back a great Richard Pryor DVD.
But it's not that form of art, but it's a different form of art, which is very of the moment, in the moment. I mean, if you're talking about just regular stand-up comedy, and it's a form, it helps us transcend our day-to-day being, and it takes us out of our head and woohoo, and then, but it's like you say, it is ephemeral and it's gone. You can't take it with you. But it's like, although could you say then is a great sexual experience an art form? Because you could say the same thing about a great sexual experience. It's of the moment.
It's a creative form, but it's not an art form.
What is?
Sexual, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like you can be creative in every area of your life.
Right.
But it's not necessarily an art form.
How with Jackie Mason? Is it an art form? I'm just talking. How's it an art form? You had Picasso, he painted, and boom, it lasted forever. I just talk, it's gone. Goodbye. You know,
it's very good. And I think people in Dublin have, all over Ireland, the different dialects have their own music rhythm thing.
Yeah, beautiful.
But the one that's similar to the Jewish New York thing,
yes,
I think is working class Dublin women or working class Dublin gay men.
Go on.
But the people who do the, listen, I says to her, I says, I know, I'll stop now, come here. I mean, listen, you know where I'm coming from. But I says to her, I said, and it has that kind of rhythm. I says, stop. She goes, come here to me, and I tell you this, and I tell you no more. And
right. But isn't that amazing, Al, that it has this ability to really wrap your attention, to keep you, even that says, oi says to him, oi says oi to him, oi says to him, oi says to him, oi says to him, oi says to him, says oi, says oi, says oi, says oi, the youth says youth. No, that's not the same thing. But what you were doing was much better.
But it's the digressions. I think it's the
little asides.
It's the fact that they digress and they go, so I says to her, I says, Aoife, who's special needs this, and that's neither here nor there. And that's really like a Jewish person going, I was talking to her sister who's a doctor, which is wonderful, but anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I don't know
it's so refreshing. It's like listening. Yeah, I remember first seeing, I was blown away when I think I first heard of Jackie Mason when he played in Woody Allen's film Sleeper.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? I think he was the robot.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was just the voice of the robot, and I'd never heard people speak English like this before. And as a kid, you're going, "What? That is so exciting, Hannah." How dare you? Of course, Polish famously.
Do you know what maybe it is?
Anti-Semitic.
Maybe is it the similarity between the Dublin thing of I says to her, and that's neither here nor there, but listen, and the Jewish thing. Maybe it's the dominance of the mother.
Well, it's a very good comparison, though, the gay Dublin thing. That way, but then it's down to the individual as well. Like I remember Martin Scorsese talking about people who are great storytellers, and they can just talk about losing their keys, and you'll be just amazed. And then then there'll be something else who'd have a really amazing story, and they present it like a dead fucking bird, which is basically all the teachers I had in Blackrock College.
Yes.
They didn't apply themselves. They wasted my time, and I wasted their time, and none of us wanted wanted to be. None of us wanted to be there. Was always the thing. They're telling me. I'm the yeah.
Hannah made a good point that sex is creative as opposed to art. But you were saying off air.
Yeah.
So I find myself doing your Pat Kenny thing.
I know,
all the
because it
time.
does help when you're
and it's
awkward.
not even Pat Kenny.
No, it's not.
yeah.
But when if you want to say something like anal sex, which is awkward, so you go anal sex. It's an easier way to. Sometimes I like to ejaculate on the. No, please.
But you were wondering whether the Bonnie Blue thing counts as it's almost art.
Weren't we just talking about that?
Yeah, but I don't think we recorded it.
We did, didn't we, Daniel? The Bonnie Blue thing. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe it is.
No. Sorry. Yeah.
No, maybe it is.
Weren't we recording? But and up until because then you stopped and said Al is too far to the right on the screen.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, I just didn't know what it.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Well, yeah, but it depends on the angle of attack. If it's just well, of course, then you could say Tracy Emin. She had her bed where she just had sex on her bed, and that was an art installation or an art piece.
Yeah, but then art becomes art if it's in a certain place and it's done by an artist and it's
with
got
an audience.
Well, audience doesn't need to be on the spot, but it's got a formula, it's got a concept, it's not just like a random thing. The artist has to be present.
Well, I think you can just say that it is an art form, but it can be done very badly, which is a very bad version of a form of art, but it's still art, but terrible that nobody wants to see.
Yeah.
And then it's done. There's virtuosos. Would you call a violinist an artist?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's an art. Like I saw what's his name, Dylan Moran last year, and he was in the Top Secret Comedy Club, and there was no setups, there was no punchlines. He was just in the pocket of the funniness the whole way through.
Yeah.
And it was like watching a great violinist. Like I'd pick up the violin and I'm okay, but then he just does something sublime with it, and I was thinking, Jesus, I didn't think he could do that. So that was a nice. That was an example of, I think, how it is clearly an art form.
Yeah, and therefore maybe we should get the grants. There's a girl, there's a comedian, Ailish McCarthy, who's campaigning that we should get grants and that we should be eligible for arts funding, and that I think that's a good idea.
Well, my point is, I did have an interview. I'm going to talk to Ailish, by the way, on Thursday. She's going to be on the podcast.
You're going to apologise.
I'm going to apologise. well, the thing is, no, my point is, it's not that I don't think comedians should get grants. I don't think anyone should get grants. And my point is, if fucking theatre fucks are getting grants or whatever are getting, then definitely stand-up comedians should be getting grants. But my point is, like, if I want to do something, want to create something, I'm not going to be sitting on the sidelines waiting to get money from somebody. I'm going to figure out a way to do it because I'm desperate to do the thing, to create something.
I know, artist needs to eat, and also
but also
history. There was always patrons.
But hang on a second. If you're talking about of course.
It starts because art originally.
Michelangelo, of course, is going to be patronised because he's Michelangelo. But they're not. Those patrons aren't going to give money to fucking Mary Make Believe, who's gone.
Well, as a working class man myself,
did you
maybe it kind of levels the playing field. There is that problem in the arts that they're a bit middle class.
Okay.
Because the access to it requires that there is some sort of safety net for a 25-year-old guy to go throw caution to the wind, and I'm gonna devote my time to this art. Of course he could work. Of course he could be doing whatever jobs and trying to do, but that it's not a level playing field, that if you've got mum and dad and they're able to pay for you to go to Edinburgh, that sometimes some of these grants
Why are you looking at me? I'm not saying I worked on the street in Copenhagen.
I know you did. Yeah. No, I know, and you were, listen, I'm not saying you.
Yeah, I grew up.
I don't for a second think your parents support you.
I grew up in Blackrock, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not what I mean, but I just think maybe there are... Listen, when I was starting out doing stand-up, I used to borrow a tenner from my mum to get the Lewis into town to play to 5 or 6 people in the Maple Hotel hostel on Gardner Street. But I was willing to do that, and then worked in a call centre and do the dole and all that. But
but you learn your fucking art. You don't kind of look. I don't have a dream and an aspiration, and then hey, can you just jump on board and give me money for this dream that hasn't been tried and tested? It's pointless, and you don't learn anything. What I'm saying is, by trial and error and fucking dying on our holes, we finally get to a point where we can actually do it well enough that people will pay tickets to come and see us. You know what I mean? And with artists, you know these what's that arts grants that they give money to these writers. You know, there's some of these guys, you know, they're just desperate. They're on this stipend. They get like €12,000 a year for being the resident fucking poet. Would you fuck off? And then they go up to some little retreat in Annaghmacarrick with this big hairy
This is
fucking
very personal.
no, a woman wearing an old wool skirt. Right, now we're going to read a poem by Sean O'Fagnach.
scarf made from her own armpit hair.
Yeah. We're going to read a poem now. Or whatever, you know,
No,
it's
and
terrible.
Those are arty, you know, those
Waste of
grants
time.
council
What are
people
they?
can
Yeah.
be a bit,
Yeah.
you know, I've talked to them in Tala where I'm looking to, you know, get gigs put on or promote gigs, not just stand-up gigs, but music. And there was a lot more in Tala for musicians and comics when I was 19 than there is now. And and you know, you do get them going, well, we need to bring, you know, we need to bring opera to the people. And I go, no, don't fucking bring it here.
Yeah, right.
You know, keep your opera. Bring Laurie Hart's to the people.
Yeah.
Bring June Rogers to the people.
But what do you think?
They do give. Can I just say? I do think it's good that the money is there, but they should dish it out with a bit of an open mind, because sometimes I think it is given to the thing that sounds the most zeitgeisty,
Right.
Or, you know, oh, this one is about, you know, abortions and ADHD in a monosyllabic culture. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, give money to that.
Yeah.
And somebody who says, look, I'm just working really hard on this one woman play and it's just funny. They go, doesn't sound
But if writers are
trauma informed enough.
if
to give it
writers
money.
if writers are getting this arts grant, what's it? Ashtana. That's what it's called. Ashtana. There's something.
Astana.
Astana. Would you fuck
the elder
me?
artist.
The elder artist. Will you fuck me in the face? What a bunch of shitheads.
I will apply for it.
Ashtana. Look, can you imagine it? And these
I'm just gonna put up a show.
and these little guys,
I'm
these
gonna
these little guys, and
Yeah.
you know, walking around like picking leaves and thinking they're poets and going up to Phoenix Park and looking at a
Right on,
a swan. Oh Jesus! And I got a grant from Astana, but I can't stand it. But if those fuckers are getting money, then 100 million% stand-up comedians are getting money, because we're actually out there in the front lines, you know, working every week, for God's sake. So, no, for me, I think it's the worst thing to get money. For me, I would have just spent it on booze.
But I thought you're not drinking anymore.
No, it was, you know. No, but whatever I want to do, it's up to me to figure out how to do it. I mean, listen, I know what I want to do. I'd really like to write a TV series or something based in one location about all the people that have freaked me out since I stopped doing the Savage Eye, which is a ton of people. I've got so many resentments in my fucking head. I'd love him to play a character.
What stops you?
Because I didn't get a council grant from Ashtana and the blah-blah-blah-doo.
I think you're the right age now to apply for it.
Oh, yeah. No, but there's nothing stopping me other than procrastination.
Well,
Yeah. Anyway, I'm so sorry you had to see all this, Al.
No, I mean,
When are you going? When are you going to Edinburgh?
I'm not going to go.
Are you not? Why are you talking like?
I don't know. I'm very conscious of my gay voice when I'm around Dave.
Oh, really?
It's just so gay. I just feel like it's. I tried changing it, but it's.
No,
If we were- if-
it's
no.
factory settings at this point. I can't.
If we were on a desert island, right, you and me, and we survived.
I've thought about this.
you would make love to each other, definitely.
Would we?
Who do you think would be top?
I just don't want to know.
I mean, there's a clickbaity video for Instagram. You know, Al Porter and Dave McSavage ride. Who's top and who's bottom?
I think eventually you would have
Can
to...
you make your
swap.
body look like a woman? Like could you think,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I could.
like
I could
if I was
wax.
taking you from behind? If I
Are you,
was
are you
riding you-
actually willing to do it?
No, because I'm on a desert island and I'm thinking about it.
No, I think we'd start slow.
A lot of time.
No, but I think, yeah, I
getting
think-
used to each other.
We live on this island.
Yeah,
We've gotta
get the
to
fuck
know
off
each
me,
other.
Al. No. 2 years into it. No, Al. 3 years. Go on then. Jesus.
And 4,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
loving it. But there's this thing, I think, among straight men
dare
that they actually have this thing that men, what they call it, men doing men. So, like
Men who have sex with men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a big thing.
I know.
It's
I
like
went to a sex
tell
health
me
clinic
about it.
once.
Ah,
and
will you
the-
stop it now?
Yes,
but
and
this
they
is
straight.
Yeah, but this is the same thing now as you call it ghosting, you call it this. They have these words now.
No,
now,
but
now
they're
it's not gay.
proud.
Now it's not gay. Now it's men having sex with men.
Yeah, and
it's
they're
gay.
proud.
It's a category though. So when I
Yeah.
went to this STI clinic one time, this is going back a while, so this is around a while, but there was gay men, bisexual men, and then the third category, men who have sex with men. And I would have thought the first ones kind of covered that. But apparently, this is another category of, people who go, I don't identify as gay or straight or bi or, they're pansexual or whatever, which is bisexual with a degree or whatever it is. But they go, I will have sex with a man. So, they find their identity is not attached to the act, which I do kind
Okay.
of understand because
Okay.
I have slept with a woman in the past, but I would never call myself. But look at you smiling at that. I have.
No,
I
but
swear.
but what I think.
okay.
Big hairy knuckle dragging woman. So,
listen.
go on and raid me there. Ban on tea
What I
and
think is
Schlegel.
interesting of this whole thing of labels, heterosexual thing is that labels like homosexual. Apparently, a few hundred years ago in tribal places, they weren't like he's homosexual, he's gay, he's lesbian. It was fine. Like people didn't think of that, and apparently, although apparently in the past people were a bit freaked out about how gay men, but with women they weren't that bothered by lesbians, because I think
that's still the case.
historically they just
How
think
far back?
they just think lesbians are they're just practicing for when they get with men, which is a funny way to think about it, isn't it? So I don't believe. Fuck off! I'm only joking, or am I? Yeah, you know what I mean? What? But that's a funny thing to think of people in the past. They see two girls riding each other and going,
I'd have to join.
they're just waiting for a man to show up and they're just practicing.
Well, when I was single, there were definitely guys at the end of the night sometimes who were chasing girls all night, but then got with you. And I don't know whether that's a closet thing or a desperation at the end of the night thing. I used to call them reduced to queer.
Yeah, but that's
like-
that's a gay thing.
No.
Do you think, or is it like it's 3 a.m. and they're going, oh, you know what?
No, I've
that's
never
who I
been-
used to want, by the way, which is repressed homophobia. Because when I was younger, if a gay guy like me said to me, do you want to go cinema? I would go, ugh. But if a straight guy said, I'll ride you, but if you tell anybody, he'll fucking kill you, I'd be like, oh my God, yeah.
Listen,
Self-hate.
But are they riding you in the same way they'd like ride a sheep or something? You know the way like you know the way
bad.
you know the way guys like I just have this guys are so horny out in the country they just like put their cock in a stone wall or they just jump on anything. Well, go to see that, and they'd see a pony and they try and ride a pony like. Or they're just thinking they're not thinking of themselves as gay. They're just putting their cock
Desperate.
into something. Is that what you think?
Well, I don't know. I
They're
mean,
not
people
na-
go on and marry women and...
Will I have to cut that out, Hannah?
I don't know, but I have to say,
Will I, Al?
we
Was
had
that very offensive? What I said?
very offensive.
I'm not sure to who.
To who is it to people
Don't
from the
know.
country?
Country, I think.
The people in the country are so horny
Yeah, I think
that
it's
they'd
them.
ride a stone wall.
I don't think it's the gays. I think it's the Stonewall
Yeah.
fuckers. Although the gays are Stonewall riots. We've made a connection.
Okay,
We've made a connection.
we've made a.
So we have the guest Maya. So she's
Oh, yeah.
she's a trans woman.
Right.
But so she got breasts.
Yeah.
But she said she's gonna keep the cock because men love the testosterone in her. They love the energy and they love the fact that she looks good. But she's a man down
She has a little bit of something to remind her of the good old days.
So,
That's so
very-
creepy, isn't it? That's a great line. Can I just say, it's like a guy, a trans woman who's super confident, and he's saying, that's just a little something to remind me of the good old days. Oh, it's on, it's happening. But wait a second. good old days. It's such a great line. It's
I'm
like a
not sure
Tarantino line.
how if you're taking estrogen because you're a trans woman, does that affect your does it affect your bonus or
Libido.
He wouldn't. I mean, she wouldn't take estrogen.
She wouldn't take estrogen.
No,
okay.
she didn't take hormones. She just got her boobs done in Turkey.
Yeah.
So that was.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and then all these bits and all that, they just stay the same. So you know,
my kind of woman.
But also, if you feel you're being preached at, even if you necessarily agree with what's been said to you, but if the person is coming off like a bit pretentious or something, you might just want to say something just oppositional just to piss them off. Like, for instance, I see your man Jon Stewart. There's something about him, I know, but he's obsessed with Donald Trump. And I mean, I wouldn't be a huge fan of Donald Trump, but I do like the fact that he pisses the type of people off that he does. You know what I mean? Those kind of po-face, you know, you know, and so I like the fact that he pisses those type of people off. Like, his enemies seem to...
But do you get annoyed at his righteousness or his piousness?
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart. He has obviously he's got a million fucking riders, and there's an affectation about him where he's you know, he's all dressed in the suit, and then he kind of pretends to be wild and crazy, but he's very much part of the establishment. And then he makes these wild you know, he starts going on about, like, you know, political events, and as if he gives a shit and he's really caring about, but it's just it's like, I guess you could say it's like Joe Duffy. Like, there's no way that the man has that much empathy. You know, it's performance. So in other words, Jon Stewart is. I don't believe Jon Stewart. And there's just like you know, he's so right. He's so right, man. You know, and he just. But on the other hand, obviously he's hugely talented. But just the way he. Let me put it to you this way. Wait a second. So in school, if I took the piss, I'd get into trouble. But if Jon Stewart was in school with me and he took the piss, he wouldn't get into trouble because he's a straight A student and he's passing all his exams. So he gets away with stuff. But he's not really a messer. But he kind of pretends like he kind of is a messer, and he says, "Hey, fuck you," and it's like, you're kind of not, you know. But it just shows you that satire doesn't really affect change. It's, in a way, you could say his obsession with Trump is kind of like a tribute to Trump. Can't let it go, and it's sort of it just keeps him in the spotlight all the time.
And I guess you have a real you're into authenticity, and you're a very. I mean, people say to me, "What's Dave McSavage like?" I think that you are a very authentic person. For better or worse, do you know what I mean? But you are yourself, and that's what I like about you. And I have friends who are very different to each other and would hate each other. But what I like about that individual is they are themselves, unapologetically. And I don't know about you, but I do kind of agree with you that I am quite wary of people who seem too right on and who seem too kind of, I have the correct opinions and I have the correct... I'm wary of certainty. I'm wary of people who are so certain, where I go, how could you be so certain? I mean, it's sure. Is there no confusion? Is there no human, you know, grey area with you? No, you know, people who are too certain are a bit scary, I think.
Well, apparently he is a reprehensible human being, Donald Trump. I mean, I think they're saying that he was, you know, we went to Epstein Island. Did they call it Epstein Island? Yeah, but or they're waiting for these Epstein files to come out. Yeah. You know, and that could, you know, but he but on the other hand, he's kind of like a blunt weapon that sort of bashes people over the head with that.
But you know, like, who went to Epstein Island?
Clinton.
So did Clinton, so did
Bill Gates,
so did all the other
the guy in the
big
wheelchair.
stars.
2212. What's his name?
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking,
and he was a bloody
Stephen Hawking. Take me to Epstein Island. To Epstein Island. I did not have sexual relations. That's okay. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. 212.
Very good impression.
Yes. Ask me a question. Was I in Epstein Island?
Were you, Professor Hawkins, were you on Epstein Island?
A brief history of time. fuck.
But that's the thing. I mean, who knows
what about
what's going on there? Because there's all these conspiracy theorists about, was Jeffrey Epstein an operative, a CIA operative, and all this. It's crazy stuff.
They say it was Israeli agent as well.
Oh, it's just crazy. See, this is why I saw Chris Kent, the comedian, did that show Offline where he went off his phone for 8 weeks and then wrote a stand-up comedy show about it. I mean, I just want to be logged out of all of this, of the world.
Yeah.
It's too fucking... I can't keep up with it. And I actually doubt anybody can keep up with it. I mean, one of my opinions about online commentary is that it moves so fast that people are so afraid of missing their opportunity to comment that they will form a kind of extreme opinion, because it's only extremism that gets reactions online, right?
Yeah.
Very quickly before they've actually thought about something, so they don't miss the boat on talking about it. So we're all just fucking shouting at each other about this is a conspiracy and this is, and it's just...
And how can you assist, or what can you do? What can you do with these terrible stories? You hear them and it's really... Like, I mean, I remember I read this thing called boards.ie, and there was a whole page dedicated to what a cunt I was. Right.
That's not a horrible story.
So, no, but what I'm trying to say is, so I'd read...
Do you remember setting that up? Yeah.
No, very good. And you'd read it, and it's literally like digging a fucking thing into your tooth, like you're just reading it. It's self-flagellation, and then you'd stop reading it, and then you'd forget you'd read it, and then 2 hours later I'd meet Hannah, and I'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" Nothing. So it has an effect on
Yes.
it. In the same way, all this fucking horrifying news about Israel bombing Gaza and all this sort of stuff, and and what's going on in Ukraine, everything. It does have an effect, and we can't seem to do anything about it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like what Hannah said about...
But does it mean we should cut ourselves off from the... I don't know.
No, but I don't think you need to make yourself a remote monk or anything like that. But you were talking about spiritual people who are phonies. And that's people who are taking on this, and it's now become an identity for them. Whereas a lot of that spiritual stuff is about losing the attachment to identity and all that kind of stuff. And I do agree with people like that Eckhart Tolle fella and stuff who kind of think that the world would be a very different place if individually people tried to be more present and less attached to their past, less frightened of their future, and less consumed with their self-talk. And then if
I'm worried about if that person likes me or that, but
if people could do that, could be in that place in themselves, then their actions will reflect somebody who is clear thinking or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's great.
It's a fucking hard thing to do. I mean,
you have to be, it requires awareness all the time. It's not like one thing you do it 5 minutes in the morning. It's the same with ayahuasca. You do ayahuasca and you think you set up. But you have to bring it to everyday life. And they do, all sorts of things. But in everyday life, all goes out of the window, and they the same assholes as they were before.
Yeah. But even...
Sorry, I just need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, right.
Yeah, sorry.
Ah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Son of a bitch, Daniel.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're grand, Daniel.
I tried to hold it in.
How long have we been broadcasting?
Like 54.
Is it a 1 or a 2?
No, 1.
2 is not allowed.
I think we're still recording, actually. I wonder, it doesn't matter. That's funny. That's good. It's flown by, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. Do you love me?
No, Al is funny.
Al's great.
Yeah.
He
we
is
have
great.
to talk
In
about
spiritual mode.
No, he's very... I want to give him a
performing?
compliment.
Where are you performing, you have to say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's performing with me.
Yeah. Oh, do you mind? Can I still do that?
Well, yeah, I'm not hardly going to say you can't now, am I?
I don't mind if you need to change it. But I'd love to do it.
I don't mind if you need to change it.
I don't mind if you need to change it.
I think you would be a good tandem.
Yeah.
You have to stay.
Well, actually, I said to Stuart, my manager, I was going... He said, what you want to do next year? And I said, well, I definitely don't want to do a tour because the fucking thing has hung over me all year. I knew I was going to do a tour starting in August since January, and I don't like it hanging over me. So I was like, can I do some stuff with other people?
Oh, I see,
So
yeah.
I was like, what if me and McSavage did, you know, father and Tommy is doing that with some other guy, father and son, 10 dates of a first act, second act thing, and then we come together at
Oh
the
yeah,
end.
I think it'd be great, Al.
You know,
I do,
but just 10 nights. If our individual tours are like 40 nights, just 10.
yeah,
eight,
no,
nights.
I'd love to do it, Al.
Yeah, I
But
like
actually-
stuff like that.
Mm.
where you're
actually,
not alone.
that's the thing,
and also it's creative. It's more bouncing off.
But
each other.
that's the thing. I look at Al in the same way I looked at what's the podcaster called? The most famous podcaster in the world.
Joe Rogan.
I look at Al in the same way I look at Joe Rogan. You know, when I first saw Joe Rogan, he looks like a big beefy thug, and I was surprised by how articulate and intelligent and insightful he was, and I get that from Al. You know, because there's the camp thing going on, but then when he gets serious and gets focused, I'm like, wow, that's very insightful, intelligent, mindful, whatever. Mm-hmm. And also, you're not young anymore. Love.
Not young anymore.
But you are a very fucking clever dude, Hannah.
You're very clever, and I just want to.
And,
ask
you know, a great
talking
talent.
about authenticity. Do you think that? I mean, do you think that you are authentic? Do you know?
I think
when
that
you
the-
meet yourself,
As much as he
Yes.
fucking can
I
be, for
think the
Christ's
lines,
sake.
yeah, but I think the lines are narrowing between what I would present to people outside of the home and who I
Yeah.
am. I think that the closer they come
Yeah.
together, the better.
Yeah.
But it's kind of changing how I do anything. You know, how you do your work or how you do anything. Because then, you know, when I was younger, it was very much a defensive, you know, that was all armor, blue suit, pink tie, lot of makeup, you know, black hair dye, and you know.
But that was a performance.
No, it's a performance,
Yeah.
and it's as you've always said to me, the camp thing is in a long line of whether it's from the music halls and Max Miller all the way through to Larry Grayston, Frankie Howard, and Kenneth Williams, and then into the modern incarnations, and even women who are camp, whether it's like Kathy Griffin or Joan Rivers, but
Catherine Lynch.
yeah, but relying on it entirely. So now I find it's you made this analogy once to me that it's a brush that you can stroke with, but it doesn't have to be the whole.
Well, but
thing
that's what I'm
anymore.
saying. So when you're in that role, you tend not to hear something really deep and insightful. I mean, it's very, very entertaining. But that's why then sometimes when you're anyway, I'm just saying that. You know, you have a great talent. You see, I was going to say something authentic, and then I felt.
And then you went into the pad thing.
You're very authentic. You are a great talent. Shut up.
It's more important to me now
Fuck you.
to be real than to be successful, you know, or to be.
Lie.
No, it really is. I mean, I find myself kind of going, you know, even with the comedy, I'm in this weird place with it, a transition place where I'm going, in order to play bigger rooms, you've got to post more things online so that people see you more often, so that you can become more popular to whoever wants that. And then I find that the online thing has never been for me. I don't like it. I don't like being on it. I don't like seeing. So and also the idea of being more well known is unattractive to me. So I'm in that conflict of going, I enjoy when I'm on stage, but I don't like the idea of being more well known. So I have other things that I plan for next year, like going back to college, and there's different courses that I'm doing that are nothing to do with comedy, because I definitely feel myself going, I'm writing a play, and I like that because I feel like I'm using the comedy skills.
Beautiful.
No, but
it is beautiful. It's rich. What you're talking about, there's the depth and
But it's
richness
not
to
about
it.
being the.
And you're excited, and now you're ready for that.
Yeah.
Because when you were young, you know that, you know, like going to school or learning stuff was it like anathema, abhorrent.
Yeah.
But it's nice though, isn't it, when you have a thirst for knowledge, or you feel that.
Yeah, when
thing.
it comes back.
When it's it's a lovely thing. It's a nice feeling. And but I certainly I didn't suffer from that curse when I was in secondary school, Hannah.
But
I mean,
it's-
you know, like nothing. My attention was just within one ear out the other. But I blamed the teachers, Blackrock College.
Not the first time.
I know I do it all the time because I'll never let them go.
You
They
don't
used to-
give
they
up.
used to- do you know what they? Do you know what they used to do? Is every.
You can only do
Do you know what they did? Do you know what they fucking had in Willow Park all the way up? I think to
Willow Park is a primary school. Isn't
yeah,
it?
And full of paedophiles, by the way. Anyway,
Yeah. It's very
and you don't even have to
The
say
school you were in?
yeah. You don't even have to say allegedly because it is.
Was it an order, a religious
Yeah,
order?
Holy Ghost Fathers.
Right.
Holy Ghost.
Right.
I think they had to change the name to the Creepy Fingers Fathers or something. But anyway, no. So what was I saying? Oh yes. So every week in Willow Park, you get a book that would assess how you did during the week, deportment, something, behavior.
Literally how you carried yourself.
And do you know what they call the book? Judgment book.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
The
scary.
judgment book. Hey, have you seen me judger? I've lost me judger. Have you seen me judger book? And meanwhile, the priests, hello, David. Now, they all sounded like Michael D. Higgins. Michael D. Higgins sound. Oh, Michael D. Hello, and my name is Father Michael D. Can you just put your hand there now? How old are you? Say you're 8.
8.
Where's your judgment book?
Jesus. It is dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then look. Now, look. This is
Oh,
what
the
they
belt.
did. This is what they did as well. Right, David, come in here now. How old are you now? 8. So you're 8.
8.
No, you lost your judgment book, did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Ow! Ow!
Yeah. But I think it's good to see that you've recovered.
Bend over, David.
Ooh.
Clearly, this hasn't had any lasting effect on you, this traumatic upbringing that you had with the Holy Ghost.
Al Potter now. You've been seen. Okay.
Well, you wouldn't do anything like that now. You'd be sentenced.
Well, I mean, listen, it is so dark, that history that's in Ireland.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I find just so
But it was so fun. Thank
scary
God,
about it is how it was fun.
It was. I remember having so much fun. I mean, thank God I was never, molested by these people. But it just messing and getting into trouble because you could really get into trouble, like you get beaten up or whatever. So it was just so exciting.
Well, maybe to
Living
turn
on
it
the edge.
into a slightly back to comedy I was reading Charlie Chaplin's autobiography, and Chaplin was really proud of this book apparently because he learned to read and write as an adult. So he didn't know how to read and write when he left school, and actually apparently there are signs throughout the autobiography that a certain he liked. It was very, what's the word for where the words are grandiloquent, I think is one of the words, where the words are very flowery, because he was very proud that he knew these long and extravagant and complicated or obscure words. And sometimes if he was in the middle of enjoying a particular word, it appears 10 times in one chapter or whatever. But Chaplin talked about seeing a boy punished in school and being brought up to the top of the school gym auditorium and being whacked over the bum with the ruler or whatever, and how much he wanted to be the boy because he wanted to be the centre of attention, and started to get himself into trouble so that he could
That could
get
be
the attention.
I think that's definitely I'm in
There's
that
a touch
category.
of that.
Yeah,
You've got a touch of the Charlie Chaplin about you. I met a taxi driver, this Indian taxi driver who was incredible, right? And he said to me, no matter, can you do the voice?
can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Come on.
You can't do the voice, Hannah.
Well, you could do it like a year ago.
Can you
too.
do the head?
No, no.
Okay.
Go on.
Well, that's what he was like.
No, I know, but you
met.
can't do it because it'd be like anyway.
Okay.
You just
Not all Indian people are like that, but the man.
I know, but
met-
you can't apparently do it. I know we want
I know.
to,
Okay.
but we can't because we love people. We don't know how to upset people.
He said.
Fucking mad, you know what I mean? We can do that accent because they're all us.
Can you do Polish accent?
Dobrze, yeah, I can do it, dobrze, but that's because you're Polish.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's a good question, actually. Well, okay, go on anyway.
No, he said in life you'll get what you want, but the problem is that people don't know what they really want.
Very good.
But that you will get what you want. And when you do a gig, Dave,
Yeah.
and it's like you have these amazing gigs where I see you in like what one of these arty people would call flow state or whatever.
Yeah,
I
when it
see
goes
these
well.
gigs, yeah,
Yeah.
where I'm just like, it's like you talking about Dylan Moran earlier, where I just go, fucking hell, none of this seems to be attached to the other bit. Like the whole thing of premise, setup, punch is gone. And Dave is now saying, this mix of things. It's the northern accent he did, but it's about the county council, but it's about that woman, but it's a mermaid under the sea. And I'm like, this is fucking incredible. But not those gigs.
Thank you, Al.
Not those gigs. You know the gigs where you are a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Do you think that you want those to happen deep down?
Well, I remember I was talking to Tommy Tiernan once about that. You know, you'd see a comedian on stage before going on, and you didn't like what he was doing, but he or she was getting laughs, and then you just thought the audience were fucking idiots for laughing at them. So then I'd want to go on stage after them and just ruin the atmosphere. And just kill them all off, and then just start creating it in my own image. But no, well, definitely the thing is, when you do a catastrophic gig, you walk off with that catastrophe in your belly, and you go home, and it's a pretty horrible feeling. But then there is something liberating about sometimes. Not so much anymore, but maybe when I was younger, yeah.
Yeah.
But but certainly, there is something good though about, you know, even am I standing up for something I believe in? I'm not sure, or am I just, you know, I'm getting drunk on the power of being on stage and knowing that person isn't necessarily probably going to jump up and attack me, so I can go, fuck you or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen you have.
You do that.
No, I haven't seen you. Whenever I see you talk to somebody. Yeah, there's an element of, there's a performative aggression, but it's as much like me going, I can't believe you wore that out tonight. I mean, it's the same thing.
You can't, and here's the other thing, if you actually do lose it, or if you're actually angry, then it doesn't work. But I have been very angry, you know.
You're lucky nobody recorded it. Look at Michael Richards from...
but that was on
Seinfeld.
another. I think
did the whole racist rant 20 years ago, whatever. You know.
I think
I remember your racist rant in 2000. My joke.
But I think I saw Michael Richards explain it like he in his head he'd got into a character. And saying the exact opposite thing. This is what his explanation. He's saying the exact opposite thing to what he would say, or what he believes in, or how he would refer to any human being. And he jumps into this character. But then the audience weren't buying it, and then he kind of lost confidence, I think, in what he was doing, and then it was just him saying it. So it was a terribly... a hugely risky. Well, for a white person, it's impossible.
Well, have you seen at the time on Letterman? Seinfeld is on Letterman,
awful.
And they have Michael on,
Disaster.
phoning in or whatever, this internet connection, and it's bad. You know, Seinfeld is almost trying to encourage him to say the right thing. Seinfeld is going, you know, and the audience are laughing because Michael's going, look, I was in a bad place and I really regret it. And the audience is laughing. They think it's a bit. And Seinfeld's going, no, let him apologize. You know, and it is, you know, but I think when somebody has gone through a crisis or a kind of they've been called out for poor behavior, or that they've created their own catastrophe, like what happened with me, you don't say anything sensible about it until you are ready to say something sensible about it. And it can take years.
Right.
I mean, Dave knew within a couple of months, as an outsider looking in, that it was necessary for me to say to people, I've fucked up here. I've nowhere to hide for cover, and I know I've made mistakes. Dave knew that within a couple of months. Yeah. But I wasn't there. I probably wasn't there for about 3-4 years. Now it's almost 8 years, and that's very easy to talk about.
Because that honesty has a melody and an in-tuneness to it. And when people, I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about anyone in who's done something wrong. And if you do, like set out your stall, this is what I did, this is how I fucked up, this is who I perpetrated the bad. But that's why we have prison. People go to prison, don't they, Hannah?
Yeah, they do.
And then and some of them are.
Unless I'm Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
But
how are you with your work? Do things happen like with the way We Can Bomb or whatever? Like in your work, can you ever have a catastrophe day?
I guess so. You can do the bad job, I guess, and be really unhappy. But
But can your personal state affect it? Can you go in and go?
Oh yeah. You can see what you've done, and you might be really, really unhappy. Yeah.
Or you realize you're unhappy when you've seen it done.
No, I mean you usually
You must
know.
be unhappy because this is.
Yeah, but you usually see it. You usually know inside. You usually, like critical of yourself, and you know what you've done. And, you might think, oh my God, I hope it's going to be okay. Nobody's going to comment or whatever,
Yeah.
Or it's not going to affect someone, It'd be the worst if somebody was really unhappy. I had one incident with, I always forget her name. She actually died from anorexia. She was in Big Brother house.
Oh, I know the girl you're talking about, yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah, I know the girl you're talking about. Anyway, you don't even have to say her name. I know the girl you're talking about. Yeah.
And anyway, she came to a makeup room, and she, she's very dramatic. She's full of that sort of drama.
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
she was
and
lovely with
she
the
was
blonde
in my
hair.
chair. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
very skinny. She was going out with this guy with Tourette's
Yeah,
syndrome.
yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a time when still Big Brother was, everybody watched
Yeah,
it.
she was very entertaining. She was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was, yeah.
And she came to makeup room, and she wanted a specific makeup, and I did her eyeliner, but I didn't do the way she wanted. And this was the only person who actually complained, and she was just like, oh my God, what have you done? How can I live with this? But I didn't lose my cool. I said, what's her name? I said, we're gonna take it off, and you're gonna do it yourself in the most perfect way possible. And she was okay,
Yeah.
But if I reacted differently, I was defensive, it could have ended up, much worse. She could have a
Yeah,
nervous
you just
breaker.
accepted it
Yeah,
off the bat.
yeah. So, and you have to deal with people, and it is challenging because, you're doing things, they're used to different things, and you do your own version, not always you communicate well. So you have to be very sensitive. But anyway, that was...
How long
that was
have we
my
been
story.
broadcasting, Daniel?
An hour and 12.
Okay, well, Hannah, thank you very much for joining. And we started off the podcast. There was a little bit of tension, and I took the high road, and I lowered my voice and sounded more sensible and wise. But you were really angry with me. Oh yeah. Now now.
Oh, like Larry Davis, he always looks like
Yeah.
into your eyes. What's there? I don't think I can see anything. It's very shallow.
I'm trying to look into your soul. Like I just see
Yeah,
a
that's
couple.
what he does. Like he
No,
just-
no. I try to look into your soul, but I just see just a couple of leaves blown around.
Well, at least there are a few leaves. Could be nothing.
Hannah, well done. We met in 1990
Oh, shut up.
in Amsterdam. You were standing outside an Italian restaurant. I was sitting with a young man called Lindsay Buckland, a dulcimer player.
Oh, my God.
And I went up to you and you said, hello.
And
You
I,
had a penis back then. No, sorry.
You were a beautiful man.
Just trying to bring it back.
Okay.
Well, trans rights.
Listen, thank you, Daniel. Thank you,
Daniel.
Daniel. You are the future of it. And listen,
shouldn't we say about
I know-
Al where he's playing?
I am. I was just about
you know,
to. Just about to. Al, genuinely, thank you so much for showing up. It's always a pleasure, and you're so smart and so intelligent, and you are the future of comedy. And you're also very kindly going to do support on the October the 2nd and 3 Olympia. And I'm genuinely so excited about that show because it's going to be such a fucking great show because Al is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's just brilliant. I love when he performs. He's so likable and funny.
Well, I can't
and
wait
it's a
to
rich. I can't hate you. You're a piece of shit.
I've heard the rumors
Fuck you.
that new Late Late Show presenter.
They're looking for a new Late Show presenter.
Well, you'd be a great late show presenter.
I think that ship has sailed. But you know who'd be really good? Someone like a woman, like Angela Scanlon or something.
Yeah, she'd be great.
Yeah.
Anybody be good, but you'd also be fantastic. You'd be fucking brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. You'd be amazing. Because I don't know your man. He's a nice guy though. What's his name?
Patrick Keelty.
Patrick Keelty. He's a nice guy. He is a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I've never watched the show.
No, but he's a very nice guy, and I have, and also
You've been living in Ireland a long time. That was the most Irish thing you've ever said. He's a nice guy. I've never watched the show.
But also his company Green Ink, and he was the first that company was the thing that gave me a start and which led to the Savage Eyes. So thank you, Patrick Keelty. Although some of the people in your company were fucking morons, but that's okay.
But I'm looking forward to the Olympia with you because that's where I do the pantos, but I've never done stand-up there. So, I've never done stand-up in the Olympia, so thank you for asking me to go.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
And then
Wait a second. I didn't ask you. I think you asked me.
What am I meant to ask you?
No, you asked me to perform.
Oh, well, I did ask you,
Yeah,
actually.
I
I just said, can I do that?
Yeah. No, but... No.
Well, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah, right?
But he said thank you for asking me. Do you see what he tried to do there?
It's reverse psychology.
But he was trying to, no, I did ask Al.
I'm going on tour if anybody wants to go.
I asked Al to perform because he asked me.
By proxy.
By proxy, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thanks very much. Anything else, Hannah? Want people to send you money?
Yeah. I just got some donation.
Did you?
Through PayPal.
Really? For what?
For being pretty.
No, you're not doing the OnlyFans, are you?
No. This is a PayPal for our show.
Okay.
That's it. That's
here. Okay.
That's his. That's Hannah's son.
I know. Well, apparently your one Bonnie whatever's son helps her record it, doesn't he?
Jesus, she doesn't. Does she?
I don't know, or one of those OnlyFans people. Do you know, there was an OnlyFans woman in the audience at the gig I did the other night.
Yeah.
Did a
Did you
gig in town. No, the MC was on and he said, what do you do? And she said, OnlyFans. And she gave him the profile name and she specialised in fart videos.
Oh, yeah.
And she gets €100 per fart video. I mean, I could make a fortune. I'm sitting at home farting for free.
You're sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's like...
It is incredible.
I remember my mother, she'd fart into an old bottle and make €100 and send it off to America.
James Joyce.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Al Porter, Hannah
Thank you.
Andrews. Oh,
Come see me on tour, please.
when are you on tour?
alporter.ie from August. Starts in Cork Opera House and there's 4 nights in Vicar Street and all that. And I would love people to come.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's called Algorithm.
Oh, brilliant. Love it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Algorithm.